Okay, I think we'll kick off because I don't want to hold Lisa up with cooking. She's got lots to get through. So welcome again. I'm Colette. I run our School Plates program, and Lisa is our amazing plant-based chef and who does all of our training. I'm just going to talk you through for no more than 10 minutes, just a bit of an introduction to who we are, what we do and why we do it. And then I'll hand over to Lisa, who will be cooking for you today. So yeah, let's get started. So we're ProVeg UK. We are part of a bigger global organisation called ProVeg International. We're one of 10 countries across 4 continents around the world, and our staff come from almost 50 countries around the world. So you can just see there where we're active. And our mission as a global organisation is reducing the global consumption of animals by 50% by the year 2040. So each country takes on its own programme, and in the UK we've decided to focus on school food as we think it needs a bit of work. So just a little bit about who we work with. Predominantly it's local authorities who carry out catering for schools, but we will work with anybody that works in school food basically. So if you're a private company, if you're an in-house caterer, a local authority, we will help you. Just get in touch. So currently we work with 38 major catering partners. 30 of those are local authorities across the UK. That's about 3,700 schools that eat from the menus that we help to shape. And it comes to about almost 600,000 children that are eating from those menus every day. So those numbers are creeping up every day at the moment. And very simply, our aims with School Plates are to make school food healthier and more sustainable. Those are the 2 key things that we're here to do. The added bonus is that what we do also seems to save money for those that we work with, simply because the ingredients are cheaper than buying dairy and fish and meat. So the more you kind of put in these whole plant foods, with them being cheaper, it tends to save money. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about those 2 areas of health and sustainability. So the other thing to say is everything we do is based on fact and evidence and research. So a couple of the key sources in the UK are the National Food Strategy and also the Climate Change Committee. So both of these are independent advisors to the government, and they're both essentially saying the same thing in all their research, and their findings is that we need to reduce the amount of meat and dairy and increase the amount of fibre that we're eating. And the Climate Change Committee specifically advises local authorities to offer a fully plant-based option every day and to ensure that staff are trained in vegan and vegetarian cooking. So just wanted to flag this because this is what we do. So if you need some help to implement it, you've come to the right place. Also just wanted to show you, because this is I think fairly surprising often, that the amount of carbon dioxide that comes from school food. So we've just done a little comparison here. Again, Lisa and I look at hundreds of school menus. We know all the most popular dishes. So we've taken an average of the popular meat-based dishes that we see, the vegetarian dishes and our own plant-based recipes, some of which Lisa will cover today. And we've looked at the average CO2 emissions. So basically our plant-based dishes are just over a quarter of the emissions of a meat-based dish. So about 26%. And a vegetarian dish comes in at about 50% roughly of a meat-based. So you can just see really clearly what a difference what you choose to eat, the ingredients, what a difference those make, and obviously the knock-on effect that has on the climate. So yeah, just to make that really clear. And here we've got a nice little comparison. Again, you can get this, it's in both of our free brochures that you can download from our website. But we've just taken a really popular dish, a classic spaghetti bolognese made with beef mince, and we've literally just switched out the beef and we've replaced it with 50% lentils, 50% soya mince, and just compared the two. So you can just see really clearly. So the plant-based version is 27% cheaper. It's 87% lower in saturated fat. It contains more than double the fibre, which is hugely important. It's the thing that we mostly lack, all of us, in our diets, and it emits less than a third of carbon emissions. And it also has almost identical protein levels. So this is another thing that we get asked a lot. What about the protein? Where are we going to get the protein from? All of our recipes have been carefully crafted, although it's not very difficult to make sure you get enough protein, but we've made sure that the protein levels are perfect for primary school children. So just kind of leading on a little bit into children's health. So plant-based food, I mean, this doesn't just apply to children, it applies to all of us. It's really good for our health. It lowers the risk of obesity. Looking at some of the stats around children starting school in England, 10% of reception age children are obese when they start school. By the time they get to year 6, that has more than doubled to 21%. And if you then add in children that are overweight as well, that figure goes up to over a third of all children at that age. So it's a massive issue. Plant-based food is packed with fiber, as I've mentioned, loads of nutrients. It's much lower in calories, it tends to be, and much lower in saturated fat. So all of these factors help to lower the risk of chronic diseases later in life. So type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, some cancers. So it's just a really good all-round thing to make sure you're getting all those nutrients and plenty of fiber, which is great for your immune system and your gut microbiome. Just really quickly about what we offer. All of our support is free. We're a not-for-profit organisation. We're donor funded, and that's how we can do this for free. So we have the 2 resources that I've mentioned, the guide and the recipes. You can download both of those from our website. Just have a little look at proveg.com. The guide explains the program in a bit more detail and all the kind of references that we draw from. And the recipes is 35 recipes that we've created, all plant-based, all low cost, low carbon, really nutritious. We include all the allergens and all the key nutrients in there for you. We also carry out menu reviews, so we'll have a look over your menus and let you know what we think, what's good about them, what you could do to improve them. We also help if you already have a meat-free day and you want to change that into something like a Save the Planet Day, or just introduce your very first kind of vegetarian day. Again, we can help you with that, what to do, what not to do. We also help you increase the plant-based options. That's really important, and can help you with recipe development. That's Lisa's cup of tea. So again, if there's a recipe in our brochure that we're missing something that you'd like to see, let us know. We can help to create something for you. Should you encounter any problems along this journey, we're also here to help you overcome those. So we're not just here to show you what to do and support you with that, but also if anything should go wrong, we're also here as well. We have our online workshops, which these are primarily aimed at individual schools because we can't get out to every single school to run in-person training. If you are part of a multi-academy trust group, or you're a part of a local authority, we will come to you physically and run a training session with you where your caterers actually get to cook and get to eat the food. So we'll be announcing our 2023 online dates soon. If you're from a multi-academy trust or a local authority, just get in touch with us if you'd like to organise one of our in-person workshops. And then finally, we've got our School Plates Awards, which I keep talking about, but they will finally be launching in mid-January. So watch this space for more information about that. And that's simply rewarding everybody who's doing all great things with their menus, to thank you for doing what you're doing and encourage you to do maybe a little bit more as you can. These are our 2 brochures, and this is our lovely ambassador, Chris Packham, who I'm sure you all know, just holding those up. So again, have a look at those. They're full of loads of information, loads of lovely recipes that lots and lots of kids all over the UK are eating for lunch. We have a monthly newsletter. Feel free to scan the QR code and that will take you straight to our website where you can sign up for the newsletter. It comes out the first week of every month, and it's packed with all what we're up to and our new recipes and just, yeah, anything of interest to do with the programme. You can also just subscribe on the website. And just finally, these are our contact details if you want to follow us on any of our social media channels. Our website is there, proveg.com. It will take you to the UK page if you're in the UK, and our email rather, if you want to get in touch, or if you think of something after today, is schools@proveg.com, and we will we'll pick that up as soon as we can. And I will now pass over to our wonderful chef Lisa and let her carry on. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Colette. Lovely to have you here for our final workshop of 2022. I'm already gearing up for 2023, so I'll talk to you a little bit about that at the end. But let's get cooking, so we've got quite a few dishes to get through. So if you do look at our YouTube channel, we've pretty much demonstrated every recipe in our recipe brochure. So the ones we haven't done, I'm going to show you today. But if you want to see any of the other ones, then do look at the different workshops, because these recipes I love, but these ones might not be for you. But the other ones you might think, wow, there's a real winner here. This is the one I'm going to start with, your journey, or mix it up a little bit. So we're going to start with a toad in the hole, a real family favourite, a classic, and we've got a little twist on it. So we're going to start with our flour. We've got plain flour, and we're going to use something called gram flour, chickpea flour. So you may have seen this in the supermarkets. It's usually in the world section. You can get it online as well. Reasonably priced. You can make loads of different things with it. Pancakes, cakes, all sorts of things. It's really high in protein for those that are worried about protein. And it's a wonderful product, and it's made of chickpeas. So we've got some chickpea flour going in there as well. And it gives it a nice colour as well, because it's a kind of really nice yellow colour. Now to this, we're going to add a little bit of bicarb and then some baking powder. So if you didn't, for whatever reason, have plain flour, you can use self-raising flour as well, because self-raising flour just already has the raising agent in it. And to that, so I'm going to give that a little mix before we add our wet ingredients. So again, in the recipe brochure, we scale everything for you. What I didn't mention, actually, I think, did we put a slide up? Sorry, maybe we'll do that at the end. I went straight in there, because normally what we do is put the slide up to show you what's actually in it. So
we did have the slide.
Say that again.
We did have the slide up.
Oh, you did have the slide.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Apologies. So I'm going to add in my plant milk and give that a stir.
Any particular plant milk? Does it matter?
No, you can use any plant milk. If you've got a favourite, then just use your favourite. But you can use a long life one as well, so it doesn't have to be kept in the fridge. So that's super handy.
Perfect.
I'm going to give that a little stir. And you can make this, I've got some stock, vegetable stock, which I might add to it depending on the thickness. So as you know, because you've seen the slide, I'm going to remind you anyway, the cost of this is 32 pence per portion. And it's high in fibre, which we know is super important for everyone. And I actually think that's a good, for me, that's a good thickness. So I've already preheated a little bit of oil in a baking tray. So I'm just going to, so I've got a lot of things going on. So I'm going to try not to make a mess. So I'm just going to use some heat-proof coasters. Couldn't think of the word. And also I've got some sausages, some meat-free plant-based sausages. You can use your sausage of choice. So I've never actually tried these ones, but I thought I'd give them a go. And I'm just going to bring out now my preheated oil, super carefully, to just have a look at the table. So pretty much, so far, it's exactly as you would expect. So I'm going to add in the sausages, and then I'm going to pour in my batter, and that's going to bake in the oven, and I'll bring it out once it's baked. Now, of course, this isn't going to be exactly as a traditional toad in the hole would be, because it is all plant-based, but it tastes amazing. So I'm going to add in a little bit of the stock, using a vegetable stock. Give it a little stir. So you can do it in machine if you prefer. And I'm just going to pour it in the gaps, coating every little bit. So it's actually easy if you do it in a jug. I'm just being lazy. And I think I've just used all my jugs, that's what it is. So I'm just going to pour that in, trying to fill each gap. Really, you want to do this with a sense of urgency, this bit, but not panic. And then I'm going to pop this back in the oven for around 20 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on it. And then we'll have a look.
I was just going to say, Lisa, this is probably not one of our colourful, vibrant, full of broccoli and all sorts of vegetable dishes, but we've got this one in here because we kept being asked for recipe for toad in the hole that worked. So we developed one. So that's why it's here, and it is absolutely delicious if you want a little treat.
Exactly, and there is a real myth about plant-based. People assume that you just eat lettuce sometimes or just salad. And that is just not the case. Pretty much, if you've got a plant-based diet, you can eat an array of things. Not always healthy. Obviously, with our brochures, this is all nutritionally balanced. But just in life, it's just, you automatically think it's going to be boring, but actually it's not. You can have like really gorgeous comfort food and cakes and all the good stuff as well. Yeah. So let's move on to our next recipe. But before we do that, what we're going to do is ask you, do a quick poll. So if we can have the poll question.
Yeah, so have you made a toad in the hole before? Yes or no? It's quite simple.
I like the simple questions. And the next up is a fantastic recipe.
56% yes, have made it. 44% no, not yet. Maybe the 44% will try our version, see what they think. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for answering that. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't made too many in my time, but this is a great recipe. So yeah, and it's perfect for this time of year. So let's talk about the next recipe, because I didn't mention what it was. We're making the pearl barley risotto with sweet roasted roots. So this one is really utterly delicious. And as you can see from the slide, the cost is 50p per portion. The fibre is 4 grams, so it's really high in fibre. Protein 6.5, saturated fat 3.5. It's very low in carbon emissions, and it's filled with really gorgeous ingredients as well, which I'll talk you through. So the first thing you'd want to do when you're making this recipe is you're going to roast off your carrots and your beetroot. So I've cheated a little bit and I have pre-roasted, but I'm just going to show you just how simple it is, obviously. So you're just roughly chopping into chunks. I like to do it on a diagonal. You can just use traditional discs if you prefer, coins. And then you're going to roast that with your beetroot. So excuse me, with your beetroot in the oven. I'm not going to put that in just yet because of the toad in the hole, which I just have a quick peek at. I think I might have overfilled, but we'll be all right. And they're going to be eaten quickly anyway. And then we've got onions and leeks. So really, I mean, for me, a great dish starts with onions. If you're going to have leeks as well, fantastic, because you can get all that gorgeous flavour. So in it goes. And I have to just turn my hob up. It takes a little bit of time to heat up, but not too long. And then I'm going to let that start to cook down to fry off first of all. So whilst that's just heating up a little bit electrical, we're going to talk about pearl barley. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. So pearl barley is literally a superfood. It's so delicious. It's rich in nutrients. It's got insoluble and soluble fibre. And it's really good in like soups, in stews, and you can even have this in salads because you can cook it up and keep it, cool it down, and then sprinkle it into salads to bulk it out. And it's just got a really nice, almost a nutty kind of texture, and it just tastes really good. I really, really like pearl barley, and it's just something a little bit different that maybe isn't as popular as just a rice or a couscous maybe. So yeah, if you haven't tried pearl barley, please do. I'm just going to check my hob is all plugged in.
You tend to get it, don't you, in like soup? Like if you buy a tinned soup or whatever, it's always got a bit of pearl barley in there, and no one ever really does anything with it. But I mean, it's a grain like every other lovely grain, so you can use it in the same way.
Exactly, but it's just so good for you as well that yeah, it keeps you fuller for longer as well. And of course, as Colette mentioned, all of us as a nation don't get enough fibre. Adding just some of this into your diet is really going to help with that. And this dish is like, it is the main element of the dish. So I can hear that sizzling away now, which is good. And there's just something so lovely about leek and onion as well. That's so delicious. Now to that, I'm going to add garlic granules and also some oregano. Let me just check. It wasn't basil. Yeah, it's oregano. So what we've done, yes, of course you could use fresh garlic, but we realise you're cooking en masse, you're cooking under time constraints. So if we can use a dried herb and help you out and make life easier, we're going to choose the dried herb. And also garlic, dried garlic has exactly the same health benefits as fresh garlic. So you're not losing any of the nutrients. It's just a really simple way of adding herbs and spices and not taking up more time, because we all realise it's a busy lunchtime is obviously a really busy time for caterers. Okay, so this is cooking down, and to that I'm going to add in my dried spices. Get that in, and honestly, just having this flavour and the smell is fantastic. This dish is actually really nice cold as well. It's a really good dish to have cold. And so what the pearl barley does, as a traditional risotto, it absorbs the liquid. So what we've got is a really lovely vegetable stock, which we're going to be adding in a moment. And what I tend to do, so tip for you, if it starts to stick, just add a little bit of stock, and that will also steam it as well. And it kind of deglazes the pan if it just starts to burn or stick anywhere. So just moving that around, and of course you would be doing this in a big vat. And with the pearl barley, it's really economical. I feel like I'm getting a facial here. A little bit goes a long way. So I think I've sung its praises now. I think, am I a fan of pearl barley? That's what I want to know.
I think you are a fan, yes.
So what I did first, which I didn't show you, I've already pre-rinsed it. So you just rinse it in water. Super simple. We're going to coat it now with all those lovely spices and the onions and the leek. Just coat it round, and then you're simply going to add in your stock. Now you use quite a lot of stock because it tends to, as I said, just absorb it all, but then you're getting all that moisture in there, all that lovely flavour as well. And then you're going to let that cook down. You would get it down, bring it to the boil, then let it simmer. and literally no time at all. It absorbs it all, puffs up.
We don't see many risottos, do we, when we look at menus? I guess because if you were using risotto rice, you'd be having to keep stirring it. It's not a very practical school lunch.
Well, you say that. I know an Italian chef, and he calls it quick risotto. And basically, he puts the stock in, puts the lid on, and that is it. And that's how he makes his risotto.
Yeah.
And it comes out brilliantly. I've never tried it like that because obviously you want to release the starch.
Yeah.
But he knows his stuff.
Yeah, I've heard exactly the same thing. But I guess people think you have to stir it and it's going to be time consuming and you've got to keep standing there. But actually, this again is one you don't need to stir, is it? It will just
exactly. It just does its thing. So the next thing I'm going to add is the roast. So let's fast forward. This has been doing its thing. We're going to add the roasted carrots. So obviously I'm not going to cook that down for 30 minutes. So I will show you the end result. And then the roasted beetroot as well. I've actually used pre-cooked beetroot. So, it's up to you. You can use fresh and roast it with your carrots. Or you can use pre-cooked. So I'm going to mix that in, put the lid on, and then that's going to cook down and be absolutely delicious.
Lovely colours. It's going to be like really nice and
that's exactly what I love. So I'm just going to take that away, and I'm going to show you the finished version. Then I'm going to talk about how we finish the dish. So
if anyone has any questions, any comments, don't forget, pop them in the chat and I'll relay them to Lisa.
Yes, thank you. So 20 minutes later, and this is what you've got. You've got a lovely thick consistency. It's all puffed up. It's absorbed all that lovely flavour. I'm just going to heat that up and then I'm going to plate it up for you. And whilst that's just heating a little bit, I want to talk to you about nutritional yeast. Because in the recipe, we add some plant cheese. I'm actually not going to add plant cheese, but you can. That's what's in the recipe. I'm going to add, as well as you would, something called nutritional yeast. We've talked about this in previous workshops. You can get it, probably your suppliers will get it for you, but if you want to use this at home, if you're interested, you can get it in all supermarkets. Now, it's high in vitamins, high in B vitamins, high in folic acid, it's high in fibre, it's high in protein. Sounds too good to be true. Well, listen to this, it actually tastes cheesy, so it is amazing. So you can literally put it on everything, and I'm going to sprinkle some into the dish.
I honestly don't know about my life before nutritional yeast. I don't know how I survived. I actually said that today at lunchtime as I poured it all over my falafel wrap.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So good. It just makes everything cheesy.
Just cheesy and delicious. So
without all the saturated fat. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it really is a superfood. So I'm going to plate some of this onto a bowl. Into a bowl, rather. Try and do it elegantly. Oops. And so it's a really simple, quick dish. It tastes like quite earthy and sweet. And it's just, I would urge you to try our dishes at home, because it's easy for me to say how brilliant they are. But obviously, I want you to try see for yourself. So I always like to finish off with some greens.
Lisa, I've got a quick question from Michael,
Sure.
who has asked, how does this hold if it's on a counter for an hour?
Just stir it as you would if you serve noodles, as you would if you serve anything saucy. Just refresh it. Even at a time, if it did, it wouldn't, but if it did go too solid, then just add a tiny bit of water, literally like a splash, and mix it round. The the beetroot keeps it looking quite glossy. So
it's lovely and
but
pink.
again, see, I made this morning, and I just had it in a pan behind me, so you are actually seeing it. I mean, you saw me literally, I just put it in, heated it up a tiny bit, and that's how it looks like, and that was from this morning. But again, what I would say is I would urge you to make everything at home, give it a go. So that's our first dish, yum. And we're going to have a quick poll, and then we're going to move on to the next dish.
So have you ever used barley? Is the poll question. Yes, no, no, but I will give it a try.
Yeah, I would, yeah, definitely give it a try. Okay, so the next dish that I'd like to show you is, and this is another favourite of mine. I am biased, I know.
Just quickly, Lisa, I was going, the 3/4 have used pearl barley and a quarter haven't, but they are open to trying it. So that's good stuff. Hopefully some new people trying some pearl barley out there.
Excellent. Now, who was clever enough to remember what time I put the the toad in the hole in? So quite a lot of people have used pearl barley, which is nice to hear, because I think it's just underused. I've just had a look. I think it's nearly ready, the toad in the hole. I did probably put a little bit too much batter in, but never mind. So French style ratatouille. I'm not sure if the slide's still up there, but as you can see, the cost is 20p per portion. Fibre is 1.8, protein is 1.1, saturated fat is 0.1, so really like a soup. This is a super healthy dish, and it's just really nice. It's just a really lovely dish, and it's packed with vegetables. So I'm just going to heat a little bit of oil. To the oil, I'm going to add some onion. Give that a little stir. Turn down my heat.
Just another quick question, Lisa. Kay has just asked, how many portions do our recipes serve roughly? It's in the recipe book, they're all designed for 10 primary school portions. So you've got a little column in the recipe book, so you can scribble in your own. If you're making 50 portions or 500 portions, you can just scale it up quite easily. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. So the next thing I'm going to add in is aubergine. Again, aubergine is pretty much underused. It's so amazing. Like, and also you can bake it in the oven whole, and then just inside scoop it out, make some lovely. Add some baba ganoush. That's what I'm trying to think. Is a lovely dip. So I'm just going to slice up an aubergine into cubes. And then I'm going to add that in to the onion. So aubergine is really lovely when it's like really soft and squidgy, but that's my personal opinion.
Lisa, you put the toad in the hole in the oven at 318. I'm reliably informed by Kieran.
Oh, thank you.
you.
I think it's done.
Thanks, Kieran.
Thank you, Kieran. Thanks so much. Okay, so I'm going to stir that around, mix that in. And to that, I'm going to add some diced courgettes. In it goes. Give that a stir. So whilst that's cooking, actually, this would be a really nice time to bring out the toad in the hole. Got to add some more ingredients to that, but I think I'm worried it's going to overcook. Let's have a look at this. In fact, it might already have overcooked, don't worry.
Just to let you know, Lisa, you've got 25 minutes till we get to the end of it, so you're good for time.
So I've lost my toads. So I put too much. What I might do, so you can just see a little sausage there. I put too much batter in, but what I might do, and the tip in the book, a really nice tip in the book, is to invert it. So it goes the other way round. So we'll try that. I haven't tried that, but we'll give it a go. But that's in the rest of the book, that's what's suggested. So because it actually colours more underneath. So I'll slice it as well so we can see what it's like inside.
It looks nice, doesn't it? It looks really
really
crunchy and puffy. Puffy, is that a word? Puffy. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to add a lovely pepper here. So I'm not going to add everything because I'm only making a small portion. And again, you can roughly chop. So it's not like it's not fine dining. You can do it all in a food processor if you want to. You're roughly chopping the veg. And once you know, it takes no time at all, but you're getting all that goodness and flavour. I'm butterfingers today. You better stir around. So let's have our spices. So to this dish, we're going with basil and of course our garlic again. So nice flavours, strong flavours that really complement the vegetables. Sprinkle that in.
I'm just thinking if you didn't have basil, you could use some oregano or some thyme, or it doesn't have to be exact, does it? It's kind of ideas to help you come up with new.
Exactly. And also a really nice touch is adding lemon juice. And it really, just a little bit of lemon juice. It just cuts through and is absolutely lovely. I love lemons. That's such a weird thing to say, but I mean, I love cooking with lemons.
Oh, it's good. It's a good smell, a good taste. We've got some more lemon things coming up, haven't we?
We have.
We have.
I'm big on lemons. Okay, so we're going to add tin tomatoes in. Again, nice ingredients: tin tomatoes, dried herbs, fresh veg. And we're coming up with a really lovely, healthy, gorgeous dish. We're going to mix that round.
And this is one of our side dishes, isn't it? It's not in as a main course, but I mean, you could put it with other dishes in there. You can kind of mix and match them, I guess, or you could have it with some pasta. You could have it on a potato side.
Really, how nice would that be? Yeah. So actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let that cook down a bit, and then we could move on and I can show you the rice because I'd like to serve it together, but then let's just... Right, I'm just going to leave that there, and then I'm going to bring over another one that I made this morning that's cooked down. So practically the same. The only difference is this is the one obviously I've just made. This one is cooked, so it's obviously broken down a bit more because it's all the veggies are cooked. So I'm going to plate that up as well.
How long does it take to cook it down?
Not long at all. So I'm going to refer to the recipe book. So cook for 7 to 10 minutes, and then add the tomatoes, and then cook for another 5 minutes. So not long at all, but I probably cooked mine for a little bit longer than necessary. As you can see, this one is holding together better. So in another couple of minutes, it will be cooked. So super quick. And then I'm going to put some in a bowl.
Just thinking if you added like a tin of or some chickpeas or beans or something and have that on a potato, that would be lovely, and it'd be like look everything nice and balanced.
I agree. And the thing about this as well, it's really, as you said, it's really versatile. I mean, you can add potatoes to it. You could add rice to it, which is exactly what I'm going to do in a minute. You can have it with pasta. You can blitz this down even in a food processor and add some more tomatoes, and it's a really amazing tomato sauce. So it's just giving you ideas. Yes, it's a lovely side as it is, but it can also be a base for something delicious as well. So I'm going to add that there. Get rid of that. You can hear it bubbling away.
Yeah, this is all just kind of ideas. You don't have to follow it exactly. It's kind of thinking, right, oh, a risotto or pearl barley, or we could do this, blitz it down, make a nice sauce or whatever, however you want to do things.
Exactly. And also, it's just really nice to know what you think and what you think your children would like, and what your most popular dish is.
We've got another quick poll, Lisa. Sorry to interrupt you. Just would the children at your school like ratatouille? Yes or no? And I'll tell you the answer in a second. And the answers are interesting. 86% think they would. 14% they don't think so. I actually thought it would be higher on the no, but that's really good. That's really positive.
Yeah. So I'm going to chop a little bit of my, I'm going to try and do it elegantly, but famous last words, but maybe give me a little bit of oops. Oh, look at that. Now that looks pretty good to me. I've got a nice big chunk of sausage there.
And is the underside more golden? Can you see on another bit? Can you see? I don't want to try and make more work. I was just have a little nose.
Quite golden on top, to be honest.
No, it's lovely. Really nice.
Oh yeah, it looks great. Let me oh my word.
This is comfort food at its best.
I mean, my mouth's actually watering. So I'm just going to show you, this is the top side, and I'm just going to invert one and show you. So you just get a bit more of a
bit more crunch.
Yeah, and you can see the sausage as well.
Very nice.
So yeah, very delicious. And we had this last night with a little bit of gravy and some greens. And let me tell you, there was a party in our house.
We've just got a little comment from Kay, who says that she makes ratatouille pasta. So she blitzes half the mixture for the pasta sauce, which is a great tip. Love that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Great way to get more veg in, isn't it?
That's exactly what I would recommend for sure.
Yeah.
Good idea. So I'm going to show you another side. So I've brought up some rice. I've actually used Rosso rice, red rice. We recommend basmati, wholemeal, whatever rice you like. But we're just going to jazz it up with one of my favourite ingredients,
the lemon.
And what we're going to do is just zest over, and all the oils from lemon go in. So good for you, packed with vitamins. Just a really happy, zesty, feel good.
You can just imagine the smell right now where you are. Kieran wants to know if she can join you for dinner.
Oh yes, you certainly can. We've got
There'll be lots of leftovers in your house.
I make 2 of everything, so there's always like absolutely tons.
Oh, that looks really nice, doesn't it? The two together. Really nice.
And you could actually put some lemon juice in there as well. But I think it's perfect as it is.
It's got that nice kind of like, not the sharpness with the lemon juice, is it? It's just much softer and fragrant with the zest.
Yeah, really aromatic.
And that rice might be a step too far for some children, but anyway, you can use any kind of rice, can't you? It's just kind of jazzing up old boring rice.
Absolutely, you don't have to use Rosso rice. You can, exactly, wholemeal rice, white rice. It's just adding a new flavour, introducing a new texture. It's also adding the added health benefits as well.
I guess if you had oranges kicking around, you could do the same, put some orange zest, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Good. Absolutely. So I feel like I've blown through this today, but I have one more thing to show you, but I'll just do a little recap for you. Actually, first of all, let's do we have a poll question for the rice? I think we do.
So, do you have rice on your current menu?
Very good question.
Kieran says she would add chopped coriander as well to zest it up.
Yes.
That'd be nice too.
I'm just going to copy you.
Very good.
Immediately.
Yes, 100%. Very popular.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So Colette and I were talking earlier how we were thinking of doing a rice pudding, but we're going to make it with coconut milk or half and half.
Tropical rice pudding.
Some pineapple. So talking about 2023, we are developing a new recipe brochure, volume 2. So it just means we would send you 2 recipe brochures rather than 1. And we'd love your feedback. I'm just whipping up a really quick little lemon drizzle. So yeah, we would absolutely love your feedback about what works in your school, what you'd like to see made into a plant-based dish. Maybe your favourite, the most popular dish isn't plant-based and some children can't have it. So maybe we could take inspiration from that.
Just a quick comment, Lisa, on the rice. Kay just said she serves rainbow rice by mixing it with sweet corn and peas. That's nice. Yeah, and popular things with kids too. So that's, yeah, just jazzing up something simple.
Well, we're definitely going to make a note of all your suggestions as well, because it's, you know, it's great for us to know what works and what you do. And yeah, your main sides, desserts. Do you serve soup? Because we know in Scotland, it's pretty much everyone starts with soup. In the UK, in certain parts around the country, that just doesn't happen. So
yeah, we hardly ever see soup on English menus. It's really funny. And in Scotland, everybody has soup.
Yeah, we like it because of the weather, because it's cold. But so yeah, it's good to know. So I'm just making lemon juice and a little bit of sugar. So it's just a really light glaze because we've been developing recipes. So, I mean, I'm just doing super quick, so it's still a little bit lumpy, so it doesn't matter. And one thing I've done is this courgette and lemon cake. So I'd be interested to know, do you think your children would eat this? So it is mainly, thank you, it is mainly courgette, would you believe? So that the courgette is the biggest ingredient. And a little bit more.
Great, doesn't it?
And then tons and tons of lemon. Now, if you think, because my thought was maybe the children wouldn't like the yellow, you could actually add cinnamon to make it more golden. But I'd love to know what you think. So when you serve it, you have a drizzle of, you can just use water, you don't have to use lemon, just because I've got loads of lemons that I'm going to, and it's a lemon cake. And then you can just drizzle a little bit.
Wow, that looks lovely. So simple.
And with our what we're thinking about with our bakes is obviously they're all going to be tray bakes, so you can bake them en masse. So it's super easy, and then you can just chop them up, portion them out. But yeah, so just a different way of having a dessert that's mainly a vegetable, but you would never really know. And there's in the whole cake, there was only 100 grams of sugar, and I'm going to try it with a little bit less, kind of. And also, I'm making a sweet potato and chocolate cake, and that's working really well. And that's sweet and fudgy, but is mainly sweet potato. So we would love to hear your feedback, whether you have any questions, anything that's working really well in your school that you can share with us.
We've got some comments and questions here. So Michael has asked if we can look at plant-based food from around the world so that they can use it on a theme day menu. So absolutely, we can. We know those sorts of dishes are really popular. So we'll, if you've got any specific things you want, Michael, get in and let us know.
I want to do a fajita recipe, which I've got one, and it's really, really delicious and super simple because you bake everything, you roast all the vegetables in the oven, coated in a really simple spice mix, and it's just a really lovely fajitas, and it's fun as well for the kids to. they can actually make their own one if they want to.
Sounds lovely. Catherine says that they've got a chocolate courgette cupcake with cinnamon on the menu at the moment.
Oh, I love that recipe.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you've got any good recipes, also send them in to us and we'll try them out, or we'll tweak them to make sure the nutrition.
We'll credit you.
Yeah, so do, if you've got something that works, really well, we'd love to know what it is.
Yeah, because it's gold dust hearing this kind of information, because we can't reach everyone all the time. So to hear what's working is like wonderful, and it just gives us inspiration as well, because we want the children to enjoy the recipes, we want them to meet the school food standards, and in England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and also we want them to taste good and be popular. So does anyone else have any more questions? We've got one more question at the moment. We've got, in case anybody does have any more questions, we've got about another 7 minutes. We can always finish a little bit early if we are done. But Kieran said, how many schools are we planning, I guess, to work with for 2023? And then how difficult is it to get inside to have catering discussions? So Kieran, I'm happy to answer that if that's it. So in terms of schools, currently it's about, I think I said nearly 600,000 schools, and that's with 30 local authorities, 38 partners altogether. And we're planning to add another 25 major partners next year. So I'm guessing we'd be looking at maybe over 10,000 children in total. I'd have to work it out what that equates to in schools, I'm afraid. But yeah, we're planning to essentially get to half of all local authorities, over half of all local authorities in the next 3 years. So we've got big ambitions to grow and get out and reach a lot more children. And in terms of how difficult it is to have the discussions, actually, I was having this conversation earlier. It's really easy. We tend, what we're offering is free. It's really easy. It saves money. So actually, when we kind of put that to people, they tend to be really interested. And what's starting to happen now, there's a shift happening in that rather than us having to approach, schools and councils to say, can we help you? Actually, they're coming to us now to ask for our help. So that's really good. It shows it's working and we're, really well established. But yeah, great question in terms of what we're doing. Oh, we've got another, hang on a second. We've got another question. So Samantha says she does a similar ratatouille recipe, but uses it for a roast vegetable lasagna. That sounds nice. And their supplier does a plant-based white sauce, or we use your white bean sauce with the nutritional yeast. That's brilliant. Yeah, that's a lovely one. Just the white bean sauce is just so versatile. You can just stick that in practically everything. I love it.
They also do a barbecue jackfruit taco.
Nice.
Salsa. Love the sound of that. Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it? We kind of avoided jackfruit for this first brochure because we thought maybe it's a little bit too out there for people. We're trying to keep the ingredients sort of recognizable, but maybe it's time to get some jackfruit in too.
Definitely. I think it's had a lot more press, hasn't it? So people, it's a lot more readily available. And I think even a year or two ago, it actually wasn't as readily available. So it's better to do it now, I think, because people will be able to get it. And yeah, it's fabulous jackfruit. It's a great ingredient.
It's really good. So with loads of questions and comments. So Kieran said, I'd be interested in having this discussion with you and the team. So Kieran, please just drop us an email. That would be brilliant. It's schools@proveg.com. And we will set up a chat with you. So thank you. I'm glad you're interested. And Michael says we're looking forward to hosting an event in January. We will be coming to you to Peterborough, Michael, and we're looking forward to it too. You'll be our first live event of the year.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Are there any more? Oh, we've got another question. Here we go. So we've just got in the chat. If you have a look in the chat, we've got the link to our next online workshop. So we've just got the first one registered at the moment. It's just there. Is it January the 11th, I think? Let me just double check. Hang on a second. I think it's the 11th of January. Double checking. Yes, January the 11th, always 3 p.m. Please do register, and we will have lost my hang on a second, lost my screen for a second. Yeah, so we'd love to see you there. Oh, we've got another.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, 11th of January. So do register for that. And if you are a multi-academy trust, or if you're a local authority, or you're a private caterer and you'd like a bit more help, do drop us a line, schools@proveg.com, and we can set up a little chat with you. That'd be great. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody got any more questions? I think we're almost out of time. We've got a couple more minutes. Oh, hang on a second. We've got a bit more. Oh, good question. Kay is asking, can she use the ProVeg logo on her menu? So this is a great question. Kay, this kind of leads into our awards that I mentioned in my little slides at the beginning. Basically, the short answer at the moment is no, but we will be launching this award. So it will have a ProVeg School Plates Award, bronze, silver and gold. So providing your menus meet our kind of standards for each level, then you absolutely can use it, and we will send you the correct logo to put on, whether it's a bronze, a silver or a gold. So we will be announcing that in mid-January. So just keep an eye out on our social media, our newsletter or whatever, and we'll mention it obviously at the next workshop. Next workshop, it will be just about to launch. Quickly, yeah, thank you, Kieran. Look forward to your email. That one's done. Michael, thank you for another great afternoon with some great dishes. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
And yeah, just thank yous. That's all good. Glad it's helpful.
Thank you so much.
We will yeah, have a great Christmas. Gosh, that feels a bit weird to be saying.
Yeah, I know. It's my
November,
first.
but we'll hopefully see you all in January. Thanks for joining us, and
thank
see you soon. Bye bye.